Good morning. Thanks for being here today. I'm glad you could join me for chair yoga, breathing, stretching, and de-stressing. I decided to choose chair yoga today instead of asking people to work on a mat as you might have expected for a yoga class, because I thought it would make it more accessible to more people, but also that it would give you a concrete way to find things you can do at your desk, at your house, to sort of stretch yourself out and de-stress when sitting at your desk and over your computer and over your phone is starting to get to you. So if you can, find a straight back chair, something that really gives you a lot of support. You don't really want to be on a couch or in an easy chair because you tend to slump back into the cushions. So you really want to sit in something sort of like this with a straight back that gives you a lot of support. Make sure your sits bones are grounded on the seat. Plant your feet on the ground if you can. Take off your shoes so that the soles of your feet connect with the earth. Let your palms rest on the top of your thighs and let your shoulders come back and away and down from your ears, sort of stretching out in here in the neck where we tend to hold a lot of our stress. If you're comfortable, close your eyes or gaze down softly at the floor and just begin to notice your breathing. You don't need to manipulate your breath or do anything differently. Just notice your inhales and your exhales. Your belly expanding on the inhale, your belly contracting on the exhale. Start to breathe into this place and just be present here for these next 15 minutes. If your brow is furrowed, relax it. Relax that spot between your eyebrows where we tend to crunch up our face and get a lot of tension. Unclench your jaw, relax your face, relax your heart and your chest. Let your belly go, don't be straining and holding it in, just let everything go. And let yourself just relax into this position and breathe. The key to yoga is that it is a physical exercise that is linked with our breathing to sort of enter into a more almost meditative place. So while most people think of yoga as an exercise practice, it's much more than that. It's meant to help us reach a place of stillness where we can hear the still small voice of the Spirit speaking to us. So this little 15-minute practice could be the beginning of something that helps you find that peaceful, balanced center at your core. And I think we can all use a lot more of that these days. So again, with your palms resting gently on your thighs, you can open your eyes now and just inhale and crunch your your shoulders up to your ears and let them drop. And crunch the shoulders up to your ears and just let them drop. All the weight. Crunch them one more time and let them drop. Again, trying to release this tension that we tend to hold up in here. This is one of those spots that, we tend to pull our shoulders up and really just create a lot of tension in there. Now begin to roll your shoulders out, up and back. Very gently, very slowly, just lifting your shoulders up and rolling them back and down your back. Opening your chest, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing your neck, and come to stillness and go the other way, up and forward, which is not a way we tend to do this when we are relaxing our shoulders. But in yoga, you tend to do things on both sides and in both directions. So if you go in one way, then you go the other way. If you do it on the right, you do it on the left. It's about balance and having your body have that symmetry in it. Come to stillness again and take your right ear and lean it toward your right shoulder. Don't pull the shoulders up. I don't know why I keep saying elbows when I mean shoulders, but here we go. Take your ear, put it toward your right shoulder, and don't strain it, but just try to stretch out the left side of your neck without any force. If this feels fine for you and you do want a little more stretch, you can take your hand and place it on your temple, your left temple, and just don't pull, but just let the weight of your hand be heavy on your head, and it will sort of just weigh it down a little more and give you a deeper stretch in here. And just breathe. And anytime your mind starts to wander and you're wondering when this will be over or what you have to do next, come back to your breathing and just come back to this, be here now in this moment. And inhale up And exhale the left ear to the left shoulder. Doing the same thing, stretching out the right side of your neck. You probably can feel it right in here. And again, if you want a little bit more, you can lay your hand on your right temple and it'll just weigh the head a little bit heavier over and give you a deeper stretch. And inhale up. Now we're going to inhale our left arm up and lean it to the right, over our head to the right. Both of your sits bones should stay on the chair, so don't lift your hip up and tilt. The body stays planted on the chair, only the arm and the top of you is leaning. And only go as far as it feels comfortable for you. If you want and it's comfortable, you can look up under your arm toward the ceiling. This arm can be either on your thigh or on the chair, depending on what kind of chair you're in. Inhale both arms up, and now go over to the left. Take the right arm, leaning over to the left, and do the same thing. And again, you can look up. If this doesn't feel good on your neck, then just look straight ahead. And now we're going to move on our breath. So inhale both arms up, and exhale the left arm over. Inhale both arms up, exhale the right arm over. Inhale both arms up, moving to the right, both arms up, moving to the left. And we'll do this one more time on each side. Both arms up, left arm over to the right, both arms up, right arm over to the left. This time when you bring both arms up, take your left hand and put it on your right knee, and put your right hand just behind your hip on the chair, and look over your right shoulder. So you're giving yourself a gentle spinal twist. Just go as far as is comfortable for you, keeping in mind that this is kind of stretching out the thoracic spine, that upper middle spine here, that we tend not to stretch out a lot. When you inhale, sit up taller, and as you exhale, deepen the twist if that feels good for you. And just breathe. Inhale both arms up and center, and go in the other direction, bringing your right hand to your left knee, your left hand behind you, and looking over your left shoulder. Spine is straight, crown is lifted toward the sky, shoulders are down, don't crunch them up. Breathing and lengthening, exhaling and deepening. Inhale, both arms up, and bring them back down to the tops of your thighs. What we'll do next is called the cow-cat stretch. If you were doing this on the ground, you would be in a tabletop position on all fours. But we're gonna do this right here in your seat, and that's just as good of a thing for your spine. So this will warm up your spine. So you place your hands on your knees, you sit up nice and tall, and on the inhale, your face lifts up, your chest opens, and your back arches. And on the exhale, everything coils in, you tuck your chin toward your chest, and you lean back. So you're sort of using your knees as like traction, to create traction. Exhale, curling in. And do this on your own breath for a few times. Inhaling and opening the chest and widening the collarbones. Exhaling and curling everything under. If you did this at home on a mat on all fours, really this is one of the most efficient yoga poses if you only have a few minutes to really stretch out and warm up the spine and get things moving. And one more time each way. And then come back to a nice tall seat. Again, crown is lifted toward the ceiling, shoulders are down and away from the ears, and feet are resting comfortably on the ground. And that's sort of your home base. That's the position that you just come to whenever you rest or whenever you just need to come to a pause between positions. Bring both arms up. This is really sort of a seated tall mountain pose. If you were doing this on the ground, you'd have your feet standing firmly and your arms lifted. And bend your left arm so that your left palm is patting you between your shoulder blades, like you're patting yourself on the back. And then grab your left elbow with your right hand and just put a little pressure on it, and you'll feel that stretch up your left tricep. So give yourself that nice stretch in your tricep. Try not to bow the back out, like suck in your navel so it's coming in toward your spine to protect your lower back and keep everything else sort of tight, engaging your core. Inhale both arms up and pat yourself on the back with your right palm, and then take your left hand and hold your right elbow. And do the same. Pull your navel toward your spine, engaging your core, stretching out your right tricep, breathing. Always remembering to come back to your breath. And inhale both arms up, look up toward the ceiling if that's comfortable for you, and bring your hands back down to the tops of your legs. If it's comfortable for you, you can take your hands and clasp your shin, lifting just your right leg off the floor. If that's too much of a bend in your knee, you could hold underneath your thigh and hold your leg up like that. So hold your leg whatever way is comfortable and begin to roll out your ankle. You might hear some pops and cracks, that's normal, especially at this time of year. And again, you're sitting up nice and tall while you do this, trying to keep the spine and the core engaged. And now begin taking your ankle in the other direction, roll the other way. Again, if you roll one way, roll the other way. If you bend one direction, bend the other direction. Helps us keep balanced. Now begin to move your hip in circles. So these are seated hip circles. And it's good to get that fluid moving in your hip joint, again, especially at this time of year. They can be as big or as small as you want them to be. Probably best to go slowly. Just trying to loosen up that joint a little bit and move it in a way that we might not always move it. If we sit a lot, we sit all day, we tend to stiffen up. And come to a pause and go in the other direction. And bring your foot down to the ground and cross your ankle. If you can only do here, that's fine, across your shin, a little bit higher. If you can, bring your ankle up to your knee and rest it on the top of your left thigh, that's great. So you're making like a figure four with your legs. Sit in this position nice and tall and put just a little bit of pressure on this bent leg. So you're actually, again, opening up that right hip. If that feels good and you can go a little further, you can actually pull up on your foot. So now you're creating, again, this traction with your own body. And you can stay just like this, or if your leg is farther down, that's fine too. Whatever is good for you. And if that doesn't feel good, plant your feet on the ground and just sit in that peaceful pose. You can close your eyes if you'd like, and that's fine. If this is really good and you want to go deeper, you can take a big inhale, sit up tall, and then hinge at the hips and fold forward over your leg. And just rest here in this position, giving yourself that nice deep stretch in the hip, in your IT band. Keeping your spine straight, the cervical spine, looking down at the floor, so you're not putting any weird bend in your neck. And if you're folded, inhale up, uncross your legs, and we'll go to the left side. So however you wanted to lift your leg, do that again. And begin to roll out the left ankle. Just gently doing this. If you want to close your eyes, that's fine. Since everybody's either at home or in their office alone, nobody's going to see you closing your eyes, so whatever you want to do. And go in the other direction. And now we'll begin to make those hip circles. And again, you can hold your shin, or you can take your hand under your thigh and move your leg in that way. Whatever is better for you. Big, small, slow, however it works. And go in the other direction if you haven't started doing that already. And all of these things are things you can do at home, at your desk. Even if you can't take 15 whole minutes, you could take maybe just a couple of minutes and do one of these exercises whenever you're feeling tensed up. And bring your feet back to the ground to resting position. Let's give our wrists a little bit of an exercise, just because that's one of those places that we also stress a lot with our computer and phone use. So put your hands up like you're saying stop, and then fold your hands down, up, and down, and again. These wrist exercises are great to do anytime your wrists are bothering you, at home, at work, wherever. Even if they're not bothering you, it's good to do wrist exercises so that you don't start getting that problem. And you can clasp your hands and just sort of, almost like you're making circles with your clasped hands. Gives it a little bit of another kind of rotation. And I know it probably sounds weird to go in the other direction because it sort of feels like we're making a figure eight, but try to go in the other direction. We tend to always do things in one direction or favor one side if we cross our legs or cross our hands. So you'll find that if you try doing it in the other direction, it often will feel a little bit unusual, and that's good. It's good to try that in a different way. So as we finish up this session, inhale the arms wide, feeling that stretch across your chest. And then exhale the right arm over the left and curl in, giving yourself a big hug. And inhale wide, stretching across the chest. This time the left hand over the right and curl in a big hug. Let's do that one more time on either side. Inhale, open wide. Exhale, wrap the right over the left. And inhale, open wide, stress the chest. Left over the right, grab your shoulders, curl in, and then sit up tall and rest your hands gently on your thighs as we come to our conclusion. Close your eyes again and just come to that peaceful place where we started, noticing your breath. Bring your hands to prayer position at your heart. Bow your head a little toward your hand. Give yourself some gratitude for being here for this 15-minute practice today. Give gratitude for whatever in your life is a blessing for you right now. Peace, peace, peace. Peace in our hearts, peace in our homes, peace on our planet. Thank you for being here with me today.